Welcome to Chapter 6 of The Three Children of Trouble. We are one player down this evening. Alasdair is not going to be able to join us, which means that the party will have to go on without him, and he will catch up. We've had some leveling up in the interim between the last time that the party was together and the time that they are now. Asheryn increased a level, went up in wisdom and a couple of thief skills. Anne went up in wisdom as well and a number of transmuter skills, and Eryx went up a level with an increase to intelligence and spark and a bunch of wizard skills. Hopefully those, where they put their points, will be of great value to them in this session. But, as you may recall, as a bit of a recap from our previous sessions, Anne, Asheryn, and Alasdair, the three A's, journeyed from where they'd come into the castle down through the castle to the Oubliette, fought a bunch of imps, and made their way into a prison in search of a evil serial killer woman that they're going to try and kill or capture, and a couple of strange beasts that they are going to try and subdue and return to their imprisonment. Eryx, in the meanwhile, took a slower approach, having to stop and talk with the Omniomancer, Alexander Krauss, but eventually made his way back down to join his fellows after nearly dying in solo combat against a Shadow Spinner demon. We join our party as Asheryn, Anne, and Alasdair make their way down into the Oubliette. By the time that Asheryn and Anne reach the bottom of the stairs, Alasdair is no longer behind them.
How long does it take for them to notice?
Well, there was a pretty steady clump, clump, clump of feet. Alasdair is definitely not the ballerina of the group. And that just suddenly disappeared mid-step.
Where did he go?
No answer falls to your ears.
Well, unless he's better at what I do than I am. I actually have no way of following that up. I don't know.
She turns and looks intently behind them. Are there any other passages coming off from the way that they just came from?
Nope. It's a straight descent. A curved set of stairs, probably about 3 meters fully in length, 10 feet, descending 10 feet to the floor of the Oubliette's entry hall.
Maybe he went back?
While you're staring intently up in that direction, Eryx, looking a bit bloodied and harrowed, stumbles down the first couple of steps through the open vault door of the Oubliette.
Oh my goodness! Ian rushes up to make sure he's okay.
Oh. I found you guys. Okay, good. Good. Where's the Alasdair?
We seem to have lost the giant redhead in the skirt and gained a giant banana in his stead.
What happened to you?
Well, after I pretty much had nothing of what Omniomancer. God help me, James. What was his name?
Alexander Kraus.
What Omniomancer Kraus wanted. I went with a servant and came down to meet you, but on the servant quarters there was some screams, and well, that's what we're here for, to help, right? So I went to see if I could help, and my first combat was a victory.
From the tattering on the left side of his robe, the splatters of blood, and the obvious weariness in his eyes, victory seems to be subject to perspective.
Well, yes. Have you tended any of these?
Yeah, the first one, no, yes, kind of. It's all right. It was too late. I actually there was one. Well, you see where this tear right here is? Well, I reversed that. I took care of that one. So I'm good to go. I'm a little tired. I used a little bit more spark than maybe I'm used to so quickly. But no, I'm okay. Thank you.
Are you sure you're okay to go on? You're good to go. Redhead guy is missing.
Yes, I'm good to go.
Okay, let's go.
Yes, I'm good to go. Yes.
Asheryn,
Hmm?
we should probably keep an eye out for whatever would have taken our redheaded friend guy.
Well, it's either invisible or can grab him through the walls, so I'm not sure exactly how keeping an eye out will be much help.
Well, I figure if there's anything secretive around here, from what you said, you're the guy to look for it.
Well, you say he just disappeared?
He was just right behind us and then gone.
Well, can I try something?
By all means.
All right. I
Um,
am James going to use my. Sorry.
Sorry, she was just going to ask if you had enough spark left to do that. As a fellow spark manager, she kind of gets what it's like when you're running low.
Oh no. I'm okay on that. I haven't used even half of my spark yet. I'm still okay. But this is something I actually just learned, and I kind of want to try it out.
Okay.
I am going to use my tertiary aspect, James, to switch my sight to magic vision.
Okay. You do not have to roll an effect roll or a wisdom roll. That's a direct effect on you. Takes 10 spark. And your vision shifts slightly. You can see things more vividly, like all of the walls and the floors and the ceiling, which all seem to be giving off a faint glow. And Asheryn,
That
he's a magic man.
kind of look at him for a second.
I didn't take him.
That would be a 30.
Oh, is that a vision roll?
Yeah, sorry, yes. I'm sorry, yes. I am rolling a vision roll on Asheryn in magic vision.
Well, he seems to be giving off a faint glow in comparison to the walls. It's a little confusing though, because you can't pin it down. What exactly on him is glowing?
Well, I would have no idea how to read this. It's just some kind of okay. I also want them to, before this wears off, scan the room, looking for any other distortion or whatnot that might be from a spell being cast to teleport him, some kind of disturbance, some kind of residue that isn't the walls or the floor. Anything. Well, minus 13 is 41.
Well, that would be minus 18.
Minus 18?
There,
Yes, sorry,
ones.
you're right. Minus 18. That's right, I'm sorry. I did the 3 ones, I only did the 10 though, so that's, what did I say, 40, I said 41, so no, that's another 37?
36.
36.
You look around the room, you see that it is a strange shape, vaguely circular, with a large 4-square and open spot in the center, and a panel directly opposite of you that seems to be about the same size as the stairs that you are on, that gives off a faint glow. But the panel is currently just smooth to the floor, so if it is supposed to be another set of stairs leading down, it currently does not exist. Additionally, the wall on the right-hand side, in a spot where there might be a door because it's a flat panel, it also seems to be giving off a faint glow in the shape of a doorway.
Where was he when he disappeared? That's a question to you guys.
Well, to be honest, we don't know the exact position. It wasn't until we noticed the loss of the footsteps that that we started to look and realized he wasn't there. But I don't know how far back from us he was.
Probably between you and Anne.
Okay, well, I don't see... I can let go of my spell. I'm sure it's worn off at this point anyway. I don't see any residues of spells that might have taken him, but depending on maybe where he was in the room... I don't see it now, but about the middle of the floor looked like there was maybe what could be a stairway or should be a stairway. And over on the far side, there was a doorway that maybe glowed. I don't know. I've never used that before.
His descriptions are very helpful.
Well, I guess that wherever he's gone to, it isn't really something that we can follow him anyway.
Let me take a look.
I will point out the general areas of the two things that I saw.
Alright, well, closer one first, I suppose.
move over to Anne. What's he doing? Is he trying to find that?
I think so.
Oh God.
Does he run into a wall?
Ah!
One. Ones are evident.
16, I believe, is what that comes to.
Yes. I think I'll search again.
Asheryn walks over to the general area where Eryx had seen little glows and starts peering very studiously in the opposite direction.
Was it over here?
He's going to be at this for a while. What are you guys going to do in the meanwhile?
The wall behind you?
Maybe you should come over here and actually show me.
Well, I'll look at Anne. Okay, yeah, sure, okay, yeah. And I guess then I will go over to Asheryn.
Let me know if you are able to move your character. There you go.
And I will point at that wall right there.
The curse
it looked
of
like
K.
it could be a door, and if you don't see anything, but it glowed kind of different.
It's moderately better.
That's a little bit better.
Did you guys need any help over there?
I am going to walk over here while he is looking there and kind of look around myself and see if I see anything that might resemble what I saw in Magic Vision. Shall I roll a sight?
Yes, you may feel free to search.
And I have a question for you as well, James.
See.
Can I extrapolate on the entire room? Or would you prefer it to be more focused than that?
I would prefer the use of extrapolate to be a bit more focused. If you have a target, then you can feel free to extrapolate on it, and within the course of like 10 seconds or however long it is, I will give you some feedback information on that thing. But an entire room, it's a little bit more difficult to extrapolate.
Okay, then she starts by looking at this wall, the Mistrea wall.
All right. As you guys meander around the room, looking at things very seriously, perhaps scratching chins or rubbing temples in an attempt to see better and more precisely, Eryx meanders over to where he thought there might be another set of stairs, if they actually existed, though they didn't. Stands looking around, and he thinks to himself, my, this is a very clean floor. It's all made of stone. This stone here in this area is much like the stone above, kind of whitish stone. To the left, he sees a hallway. It's about 4 meters long, and it's paved in blue stones very specifically. There is a heavy-looking bound iron door made of wood to the north. And there seems to be peeking some purple stone out from underneath that.
That's where they were headed when I came in, or at least it looked like they were headed when I came in.
That's where they'd stopped.
Okay. At that door.
Yes, that door is currently locked, and
All right.
is noticeably so. There is a passageway to the south as well. There's a stretch of hallway, also about 4 meters long, and similarly paved with blue stones. There seems to be a little bit of orangish stone peeking out from underneath the wall that Asheryn is currently observing. Asheryn, what you see is everything that Eryx had already seen, if you feel like glancing around the room. And the wall itself that you are perusing, you also see a razor-thin seam along that seems to match Eric's description of what could possibly be a door. There does not seem to be a handle, a push switch, a lock, or any other thing to open this door, but it does seem to be a door of some kind. You also, at a glance, notice a similarly very thin seam in the stone directly to the right of you, and it seems to be encompassing where Eryx is currently standing.
And there's a door here.
Look up from whatever I'm looking at, and be like, there is?
And oh, go ahead, sorry.
And something on the floor where you're standing.
With something to focus on, Anne, if you would like to extrapolate either of these things that have been pointed out to you by Asheryn, you may.
Okay. I will do so.
Okay. Which are you going to extrapolate?
Well, she's not so worried about the seam of the door because she works with stone. It would be rather easy to make a door become not a door. So I think she'll extrapolate on the spot where Eryx is standing.
Okie dokie.
What do you need me to roll?
I don't believe with extrapolate you need to roll anything. I am checking transmuter skills right now.
It's an instant called.
Instant call, 10 spark. You study an object and gain information from that study.
I don't remember ever having to roll it in the past.
You do not have to roll that. You are correct.
Okay. I wasn't sure if my memory was faulty.
You focus on it for a very brief amount of time, honestly. Only somewhere around the order of 27 to 30 seconds. Just staring at this seamed area on the floor. And you come to understand that what it is not really there. It has the similitude of stone, but it isn't really stone. It is instead a mimicking floor worth of magical force. Specifically in the shape of the stairs that you had originally descended. So you have to assume that this wall of force actually protects stairs leading down further into the Oubliette. It seems to be triggered by a triggering mechanism somewhere else to unlock and open the way down further. The triggering mechanism is not anywhere in this room.
Okay. Well, she'll actually head over towards where Eryx is. It's not really a floor. It's like a magical barrier.
Really?
I'm guessing that below it there are stairs leading down.
Look at it in a whole new light and just kind of imagining that there are stairs instead of a floor there. I'll have to ask my Magus about how something like this is done.
It's probably keep people out from going further down unless you're to look for it.
Oh yeah, I know. I can imagine the point and how useful it would be. All this magic stuff is just so new to me, and just being able to do something like that, where it's just gone, it's just it's very cool. And I'll have to ask how something like that is done. Maybe I can do that someday.
Yeah, that's great. Is this door the same way?
She'll look at the door.
Going to burn another 10 spark to peer.
Yes.
All right. You peer at the door, or the seam of the door, that wall, eyeing it very seriously and studiously, and over the space of 30 seconds, all of that same information comes to you. It's not really a door. It seems to be a wall of magical force that has been made to appear like a door, or like a seamed portion of the wall, honestly. It seems to be, once again, triggered by some sort of activating mechanism that is not currently located in this room.
Yeah, it's the same way. Unfortunately, means there's nothing that I can do to remove what's blocking our path. It looks like there is something that activates it, but it's nothing in this room.
Something magical or mechanical?
You know that it would require a magical switch of some kind to resonate with this particular spell and remove it. You're not sure how you know that, but you know it.
Was that talking to Anne or to...
Yes, that's talking to Anne.
No, it would have to be magical in order to react with this spell, this barrier.
Well, then I can't do anything about it.
Which means we only have one path open to us.
Two. There are two open paths. The one to the west and the one to the south, both paved in blue.
For some reason I thought we came from this one on the left.
No.
know why.
The that half crescent image on the top left-hand side is the stairs leading down to where you currently are.
So then two paths, both blue.
Well, I can probably get us through the north if you really want to go that way. That's something I can work with.
Well, what did the guards say?
They said to find the serial killer down here and stop her from getting out.
As a refresher, since it has been like 3 weeks, the guard captain of the Oubliette did mention journeying into the blue halls of the Oubliette in order to locate magical wards that would protect you from any of the arcane spell traps here inside the Oubliette.
The guard said to stick with the blue hallways in order to find the guardians that would protect us from the magical traps.
I will move over to this one and look down the hall.
What you saw originally is all that you're currently seeing. It's a wall. It's a hallway with blue stones on it.
But we just met.
Okay, so do we go this one first?
Well, really, one looks as good as another.
Asheryn recalls that the big yellow banana was not present when he said, "Let me go first."
Any way we go, I should go first. Let me take a look down this way.
look over at him and like, oh, yes. By all means, if you want to go first. And step back.
That's a little better. Not much, but a little.
You peer down the hall, being very careful, being very studious. You don't want to ruin your cred as the trap finder of the group by allowing your party to run into a bunch of poisoned darts or falling rocks or swinging saw blades. That, and you have your own professionalism to consider. So after a bit of time, considering the hall, looking up and down it, looking at the floors, the ceilings, and the walls, you come to discover that there are two pathways at the very end of the hall, one leading to the south, one leading to the north. But there aren't any traps in this hall, not a single one.
Well, it's safe to the T. If one's as good as another, why don't I just do this one?
That sounds fine to me.
But yes, by all means, take the lead.
Eryx, would you like to go next in case there's anything magical that you need to be on the lookout for?
Okay. Thank you.
You come to the end of the hall, Asheryn. You see that it stretches off to your right and stretches off to your left, down quite a far distance. And down that distance to your left, you see what appears to be the corpse of a long-haired woman, a star elf. She's covered in blood, her armor dripping with it. There is a spear shoved into the ground near her side that looks to be fairly wicked. Dangling from it is a torn and tattered favor of the barony. She has long silver hair with black tips that sort of pooled around her, splashed with dried blood. Her eyes are closed as she sits there. She seems to be sitting at a crossroads of sorts, an apex of blue paths.
Shh, hold up.
What is it?
There's a dead star elf down to the left.
Probably a guard.
In the middle of a crossroads. Can't see what did it. Whatever it was wasn't fun.
You're sure she's dead?
Well, I can't see her pulse from here, but with the amount of blood strewn about, I don't see how she could have survived whatever she ran into.
Okay.
Do we want to go take a closer look?
I think that we should.
Alright, keep an eye behind us. Ugh.
You slip into stealth, Asheryn.
Hang on a second. I am checking to see if he actually disappeared. To see if he disappeared from my sight.
Oh, no, you can still see him.
Then I'll be waiting for him to take the lead.
Nope. I'm going slowly.
I'll follow him out. Follow him out. Look both ways.
You look back the way that he said to watch behind, and you do not see anything coming. You don't really feel threatened from that direction, but sometimes your feelings can be mistaken. You don't really have a very good battle sense. And nothing seems to be coming from the direction of the stairway room either. Asheryn, you move very slowly and carefully around the corner into the hall. There does not seem to be any movement, any shift. The body's still lying there. The hall, beyond that T, actually comes down to another apparent T. There is a wall, or I'm sorry, a door on the bottom, the very south wall, off the very south wall to the east, and another passageway off to the left, the west.
Man.
You give the walls and the floor and the hall and the ceiling of the hall a quick perusal to make sure that there aren't any traps or any sneaky things waiting. You don't know if there are any magical or traps of magical nature around, something that might perhaps reanimate a corpse, but there don't seem to be any mechanical traps of any kind.
All right. Don't just think I'm jumping at shadows, but in my line of work, it helps to be cautious. Body lying out in the middle of a crossroads like this, possible ambush.
Back in that other room, the pathway leading down, is it possible that those two might be connected down here?
It's possible.
Would you like me
I didn't look down that way.
Would you like me to stay in this intersection to make sure nothing comes up from behind us?
Can you hit anything from there?
Even if I can't hit anything, I can certainly give a warning to the two of you. Something is coming.
As the two of you stand there discussing, you hear a muffled clink of armor as the corpse shifts. One purple gauntleted hand grasps the spear lodged in the ground, and eyes blink open to peer down the hall in your direction. But considering the hair and blood and dirt in her eyes, you doubt she can see any of you clearly. With a cough...
Oh no!
Sorry. With a cough and a sputter that splatters a bit more blood on the ground, a gravelly voice pipes up to join your conversation. Is there somebody there?
Oh no, she's still alive. I am going to quickly... Did Ash disappear?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he disappeared from me.
Oh yeah, he did.
Then, I don't know, do I even notice that he disappeared?
Nope. Your eyes are on the corpse. It just moved.
Okay. Oh no, she's still alive. I am just going to head down the hall to her.
Eryx, throwing caution to the wind, charges down the hall towards the woman sitting at the crossroads.
Wait, we should at least starts to say, starting to follow after him.
The woman is wearing armor that is very similar to Lieutenant Utah up at the entrance to the Oubliette. Other than the strange black-tipped silver hair, she looks like most other Star Elf women that you've seen, except that she's covered in blood and dirt. Wounds seem to have been made by a knife, and they are grievous enough that if left unattended, you're fairly certain they would kill her. In fact, you're not entirely certain how she's still alive. On her right arm, she seems to be wearing a shield of some sort. It's not really a shield, it's more of a shoulder to fingertip gauntlet, but it seems that you could interlock it into place to create a shield of some kind. Combined with the spear, you might guess that she's a lancer. Go ahead.
Do I need to roll a search check to find out if there are any wounds that I can help with?
All of these
Are
wounds,
they all too far gone?
all of these wounds are old enough that some of them have started to close. Most of the blood is dried, though some of it still seems a little fresh. None of it looks like stuff that you'd be able to reverse. You're not here soon enough.
Are there any still bleeding profusely?
No. Actually, while the injuries do seem grievous and you're not certain how she's still alive, they don't seem to be spraying her blood all over the walls at the rate of a anime action flick.
Alright, I just was curious if I could maybe use my time to slow the bleeding if there was one that was bleeding and she was bleeding out from.
She seems, for all intents and purposes, to be stabilized? Yes, there's a question mark on the end of that.
So I should roll a search check.
If you would like. Eryx begins to search over the body, or woman, who's peering up at him, trying to focus. Any casual observer, other than Eryx, who is busy with his pursuit, who is watching, might be able to notice when she realized that it was a demon crouched over her, peering down at her bloodied form. When her hand tightens on the silveren spear, and her eyes harden and narrow, teeth clenched. I'm sorry, what?
Are there any wounds that are really bad? Any I can slow?
I assume you're asking that while you're searching.
Am I coming through it all?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, or asking her. Yes.
What you doing, Anne? What you doing, Asher?
I'm being stealthed.
All right.
Anne is trying to get up close enough to see what's down the other hallways, see if they should be moving her.
The Star Elf does not answer your question, Eryx, directly. Instead, she grinds her bloodied teeth, hand clenched ferociously around the spear, raising a defiant chin. Gonna finish the job, fiend, she spits.
Ma'am, we're actually all here to help. We were sent by the captain of the guard.
The hard look in her eyes, the grit to her teeth, it fades as she looks past the looming yellow demon to the slight mountain elf woman beyond. Confusion replaces the fierceness of her expression.
This is Eryx.
After.
He was hired from the school.
You are still looking at
After.
wounds, Eryx.
Well, I was going to say, after she said that, going to finish the job, I probably stopped exactly what I was doing and kind of looked for a moment deer in headlights. And when the confusion comes onto her face from what Anne says, catch myself and say, I'm not like the rest of my race.
She doesn't quite relax, but she does stop gritting her teeth and spitting out angry words, her hand still on the spear.
Now I'm a chronomancer who kind of has specialized in healing. If you have any wounds that are still bleeding, I can possibly slow the bleeding down so that we can get bandaged or whatnot. I have not gone back to her at all. My hands have not gone near her. I'm backed off.
Well, I know this is quite an unusual situation, but the simple fact is that we don't have as much time as would really be necessary for you to have quite so in-depth of a discussion. What we do need to do is try and get you to someplace more relatively safe.
My women, did they make it out? She asks.
You are the first we've seen.
I take it you are moving around to the other side, Asheryn.
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened?
A prisoner escaped. She hit us hard. We didn't have any warning from the lower floors, which means she must have wiped out the guard there. I stayed to guard my soldiers' retreat. She We fought. I didn't win.
This was one prisoner?
One.
And,
Just the one.
and how many soldiers did you have with you?
I had 3 women on my floor. There were 7 spaced between the other 2 floors.
Okay, well, again, let's get you, it's clear back that way. We can get you upstairs, and the captain, I have perfect remembrance. What's the captain's name?
Captain, yep, that's her name. Sigrid Noomfallen.
Did I get her name?
Yes, she introduced herself.
Okay. Newgfallen?
Noomfallen.
Noomfallen, okay. Captain Noomfallen is just back a ways and up the stairs. We can get you back to there, and they can treat your wounds.
So she managed to get the vault doors closed. Good.
Though I have to admit that this doesn't bode well for our little excursion.
She jumps a little.
I probably jump a little.
Startled by the sudden appearance of the moon elf.
Though at least on our side we're prepared as one can be.
Not me, I haven't been with him.
We hurt her, the woman says. We hurt her bad. I tried to kill her, but she was just too fast. I think it is only by my brother's grace that I'm still alive. Oh. She tries to pull herself to her feet despite her injuries.
I'll slowly kind of go in to offer her support.
Sorry.
No, I was going to ask, is there a blood trail on the floor? Anything indicating where she might have come from? Obviously the battle didn't happen right here.
There is a streak of blood leading from the passageway behind her from you. So the passageway to the west.
Okay.
The left-hand passage. It seems to be coming from the T there, but that's where most of the blood seems to be splattered on the walls. She reaches out once Eryx offers to help with her gauntleted right arm, presses it with a bit of a quiver to Eryx's arm, and pulls herself to her feet on the spear. Now that you get a better look at the gauntlet, however, you notice that there are strange rituals carved into the metal of that shield-like arm. The rituals are definitely umbral in nature. They are not spectral rituals.
Do I recognize them at all?
No.
Okay. Then it's not entropy.
Where did the fight take place?
She came through here trying to activate the elemental to protect her. I stopped her at the T back there. While I kept her occupied, I sent my women around the side to flee up and out of the Oubliette so they'd be safe. This was where she fought us on this floor. I don't know where the rest of the combat took place, only that it must have been floors below.
Does that jive with what they told us up at the Oubliette entrance?
It does. They didn't have many details on what fights had transpired, only that some of the women had made it out of the Oubliette. And Captain Noomfallen had credited her lieutenant, Winfried Velken, with getting some women out of the Oubliette. Otherwise, they had been the guard had been lost with all hands except for those that had escaped.
And she did name the lieutenant, right?
That's correct.
Right. Oh, and what was your name, ma'am?
Lieutenant Winfried Velken. I am a shield sister of the Garde de Koningin, the Queen's Guard.
Well, let's get you out of here, Miss Queensguard. Start walking her back towards the stairs.
Are you going to take her along Anne's way or along Asheryn's way?
Yes. I would go back the way that I came.
Okay.
Can Anne just slide to the side and let them by, or does she need to go too?
You can slide to the side.
All right. Let's.
But as you start to try and lead her away, she signals you to pause by the expedience of clenching her gauntleted hand on your arm. She has quite a fierce grip.
It will certainly stop me.
I take it you've been sent in here to deal with the murderer. If that's the case, I can tell you of some of the things that you can expect and give you things I protected from the prisoner with my life, if you want them.
That would be very helpful.
I hoped you would be intelligent enough. She carefully lets go of the spear to reach in below her armor and pulls out a set of 2 keys. One is extremely intricate in nature, with at least 5 different points at which it is to turn tumblers. The other is much simpler, with only 3 prongs at varying lengths. She offers them to Eryx, since Eryx is the closest that she can see. She seems to have lost sight of Asheryn.
I will probably look up for Asheryn and not see him and go to take the keys then.
Here. The 5-pronged key is the key to the vault, just south of us here. In the vault you will find medallions that will make you known as a friend to the magical traps in the Oubliette. The other key, the 3-pronged key, it leads to a room to the west and just north. Once you have the guardian amulets, journey there, not before. There are magical traps filling the room. Beyond that room you will find the door. Go through the door and up the hall there to the north, where you will find a ritual of magic set, and instructions in a language long dead. Only one of you need stand within the ritual, but whoever does, they will gain control of an elemental guardian that will patrol this floor and protect them. It is for that reason that I refused to allow the prisoner past me, though if she attempted to do so after defeating me, I do not know. If, by chance, she has summoned the elemental guardian, the ritual will already be glowing. And in that event, you will need to find its opposing ritual, which is to the north of us and west. That ritual will dissolve the elemental, and it can be summoned again in service of whoever stands within the summoning runes. It is one of the passive defenses of this place, and if I had had time to reach it, I would have had aid in fighting her, but I couldn't. Beyond the amulets of protection you will find in the vault, you may also find some healing potions, and possibly some that restore spark. Do not know all what is left, and all what she did not take, if she managed to make her way into the vault. Down at the very south point of this hallway, and just west, you will find the stone that you may press to unlock the east wing of this floor of the Oubliette, the orange-floored halls, where we would have kept prisoners, had we any prisoners to keep. I assume if you cannot find the key to the northern door into the control sections of the Oubliette to allow yourself passage deeper into the second floor, if you cannot find that key here in these halls, then she may have taken it to the prison halls, and you will need to go there. That is a key I did not have on me. There are traps in the prison halls. Many traps, but other than that, you should not find traps anywhere else on this floor of the Oubliette. They were meant to keep prisoners who might have gotten free of their gates from escaping those halls by putting them down. Be careful of them. I do not know all the cantrips to get by them. That's, I'm afraid, all that I can offer.
I'll be mentally absorbing all of this.
Out of character. Was somebody taking notes on all of that? Because I didn't realize she was going to go off on a whole spiel.
Already.
Luckily, my character has perfect remembrance, as does Eryx. So between the two of us, we can say, "Hey, James, what did she say next?" And make it.
Well, the only thing that I didn't hear, because I have horrible connection tonight, and you've been cutting out quite a bit. All of you have been. I didn't hear where the vault was, but I know north and west of here is the counter ritual. North is west and north is the actual ritual. South is I forgot the south one already, but I didn't get where the vault was.
It is also south.
Okay, that's all right.
And the other thing that was south that you forgot was the opening stone to the prison section, the orange walls
That's right.
to the east.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Well, we thank you for all the information. Now, let's get you out of here.
Actually, can I just ask one more question, if you don't mind?
Ask away.
The Guardians, if she were to bring them out of the Oubliette, would they still be as dangerous, or is there a certain point where they would not be able to go any further?
They are part of the rituals carved into every inch of this place's walls. They are restricted. If you summoned the elemental on this floor, it may only stay on this floor. It cannot leave through the vault entrance of the Oubliette, nor can it proceed down into the lower levels. Each floor has a guardian.
Okay.
Where was this prisoner held?
On the lowest floor of the Oubliette, the third.
So, then we should assume that she has control of the entire Oubliette?
I'm afraid so.
But not this floor. We still have these keys.
Yes. And I believe... Well, there aren't any further vaults. However, the key that will let you into the awakening ritual for this floor's guardian works on all 3 floors for their individual guardian rooms. Unless she's broken down the doors to any of them, she should not have access to the elemental guardians.
Well, that's good to know.
And if for some reason things go poorly, I could destroy the keys. They are made of metal, right?
They are simple metal. There is nothing magical about the keys, though I would ask that you not destroy them casually.
No. It would be a last resort.
Do you have any other questions for me?
I will look at Anne.
No. I'm good.
Asheryn? Looking around vaguely.
No response.
Turn and start trying to get her down the hallway.
All right. You lead Winfried towards the exit.